Okay, so I am here with Sander, who is the founder of a new platform that works on a slightly different type of EMDR, and the whole theoretical orientation is a little different. So Sander, first of all, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, Sander, what is the platform that you developed? If you can say in a few words, what is the theoretical orientation that it's based on?
Yeah, it is a digital EMDR platform for clinicians to use in their face-to-face, but also in their remote therapy. But it's based on the working memory theory in EMDR, and also based on the 2.0 principles of EMDR that is quite famous in Europe, at least in Holland, the Netherlands, where we're from. It is the main used therapy, so it's completely based on that.
Yeah, so EMDR 2.0 is based on the working memory theory, and I think it's getting traction in the US too. I heard really good things about it. So what is in the platform, and how is it different than other EMDR platforms out there?
So it in the beginning it looks quite similar to what people are used to in the US, at least, and it is based on eye movements from left to right, so you're following a ball. But the main difference is that there are some algorithms behind it, and there's an AI detecting the performance of an individual patient. So instead of only looking at eye movements from left to right, clients also have to perform certain tasks, and we're registering what they're doing. And based on how they're performing, it intensifies the treatment and the session. So it becomes harder or less harder while performing these tasks. And we're doing that for a clinician. So it is not an assumption anymore for a clinician to make the assumption of, do I have to go faster or slower, or what do I have to do? We're doing that for you, and that helps a lot of clinicians.
Excellent. So I suggest we jump right in and look at the platform and what it looks like.
Yeah, let's do that. And for this demonstration, you will be the patient and I will be the therapist. So we're switching sides. So this is great. So both the clinician and the client would go to digital-emdr.com, and they would see this screen. Let me go back to here. They would see this screen. So I'm the clinician right now. I have a login. So I can log in as a therapist, and then it asks for a session ID. And on the other side, what I just showed is that the client also goes to this website and then follows these steps. You're selecting on what device they're on. You're on computer, so you're pressing computer, and they're accepting everything, and then the whole program loads. So yeah, for this introduction, I will be the therapist. I will make sure that I need a session ID. And on your side, you've already opened the website. You can probably say start session right now. And then there would be like some sort of an apartment room in front of you with a session ID on top of it. And I need that session ID. So can you tell me that?
Yeah, so should I, do you want me to share my screen to show what it looks on my end, or just tell you the session ID?
Yeah, if that's possible, please, yeah.
And that's what it looks on my end. So digital EMDR, visual task, I go with the arrows, and then audio task with the space bar, start session.
Yeah.
And here is my session ID.
Yeah. So this is how your site looks. And you have two controls. That was the arrow key down and the space bar. And that's everything you need to know. And now you can stop share your screen. We'll go back to the therapist side.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go to here. What was the session ID?
It was 130-21008.
Okay. Great. So now I am connecting with you. And this is the whole admin panel in front of me with a session ID that says I'm connected right now. So I'm connected with you. We have all different kind of modules. I will explain that in this small demonstration. We also have this show tips option where they will explain all the features of the whole program. So first of all, we have a video call option because if I'm giving remote therapy, I can call you and we have a Zoom in our program. So you don't have to use a different video call platform to use our program in a remote session. We have a visual task. I will explain that later. And we have a start, activate task. The whole theory behind the product is based on the working memory theory. So the working memory theory, of course, and also the 2.0 movement that is rapidly evolving is about upping the working memory taxation quite high. And what we see out of our data and out of recent studies we did is that there is some sort of a sweet spot. So you can go too high, that it's just too hard to follow, or you can go too low and then it's just not engaging enough. And what our algorithm does, it is searching that optimal level for you as a clinician. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to toggle the visual task on. And for example, just as an EMDR therapist, just do your normal session. Just do it as you're used to do. And instead of doing the finger from left to right or adding the light bar, you just toggle the visual task on and you press start task. And then on your side, Rotem, there will be a ball moving into the screen, right?
And yes, I can see the ball.
Okay. And what you now have to do is you press the arrow key down when it changes from a ball to a cylinder. Because you see that the ball shape is changing exactly like this. Yeah. And you do that as fast as you can. And just keep doing that. And I'm going to explain what I see on my side. We can see now that the visual task is going faster and faster. And I am not doing anything as a therapist. This is the algorithm and the AI behind the platform detecting how the performance is on the other side. And it becomes more and more difficult. I can make it even more difficult by adding a audio task. And what you now have to do is you press the space bar when you hear an audio sound. Do you hear that?
Yes, and it is becoming more challenging.
Yeah, but I don't think the participants or the people that are looking at this can hear it, because I cannot hear it, but you can hear it.
I can hear it.
It's really hard. So you have a visual and an audio task combining left and right. So it's also the bilateral stimulation, left hand, right hand, and it becomes harder. But we can still see that the speed is going up. So this is not hard enough. What I'm going to do now is I can add the ball color change, and I'm going to ask you to tell me the color of the ball also.
Oh, wow, green, pink, green, red, orange, purple, blue, green.
Okay, I'm going to pause it for a second because you were 2 minutes already in a session. It is quite taxing. Can you go to this screen?
So, Sandro, let me ask you a quick question before. So while we're doing all these tasks, do I ask the client to focus on traumatic memory like we do in regular EMDR?
Yeah, like the one component that is not in this situation is that you have to think about the memory, and that makes it even more taxing. So you are now at 87%. This is while not thinking about an image. So this is probably being around 60 or 70% if you have to think about it. So what we always say is that this program really helps you, but you should not change anything about your session as you were doing it before.
Do you suggest that clinicians can do it just in person, so it's not only as a virtual platform? So let's say a client sits in my office, I can use that platform. I can put my laptop in front of them and then control it, or be the therapist, right? Because the algorithm basically controls it, but look at what they're doing and add tasks based on their performance using my iPad or my phone.
Yeah, no, exactly. We see after COVID that, at least in the Netherlands, there's a lot of clinicians doing face-to-face work again. And what they're doing is people bring their own phone or their own iPad, or they have an iPad available that's connected to their computer. And you saw in the beginning that you could choose, right? Am I on a computer or am I on a mobile? And it is the same as you're on an iPhone. Instead of the arrow key and the space bar, there are two touchscreen buttons on the left side and the right side of your screen. So there's nothing changed in the whole program. So at least I think more than 50% of our users are doing it face to face, and they're sitting next to the client. They have an iPad in front of them, and the task is on, and they have time to make notes because the algorithm is doing at least most of the work for them. So they have time to focus on the client. They have time to look at the client. They have to make notes. So it's really also helping them with less physical work.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. So I noticed that you have some the sud scale there and some temporary notes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have 3 tasks: visual task, audio task, distraction task, and the only thing I can toggle them on and off and then start it here. And then the program does it. And then it's the same. Okay, how high is the sud? It starts at a 10. It is a 5 now. It is a 0 after the third set. I've made my notes here. And in the end, I can go to a second target and start again. It is a 7 and it goes down. And the important thing in here is that this really helps you, saves you some administration time. And in the end of a session, you can copy this and paste it in your own like patient electronic system, because we would not save this personal information, at least the notes. Also, we do not save it. So this is all personal. You have to copy it and then paste it to your own system.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to save patient record on your system.
No. And maybe the next few things there, what is really interesting here is that if I'm toggling these 2 on and I'm pressing start task, I have these color indicators on the right side of my screen here that are telling me how good or bad or whatever a person is responding. So blue flickering means that the ball speed is increasing. So that means that the reaction time is really fast. Gray is there's no click detected. Red is there's no click detected. Yellow was that there was a click, but it was not on time. So these indicators really give you like a look inside the brain or inside the working memory capacity of a client, because this skill goes up and down. We saw this going up from 25 to 87 in that 2 minutes. And I saw with all the colors, they're now not doing anything because you're not responding.
Right.
How good or bad you're doing. And that really helps you as a clinician a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Sander, before we say goodbye, anything else that you want EMDR clinicians to know about this platform?
Yeah, there's one last thing. For therapists that are really interested in also doing this evidence-based, we've done multiple studies in the Netherlands, and there's 2 important studies I would like to highlight. First of all, we did a comparison study with a light bar EMDR session or multiple light bar EMDR sessions compared to the WeMind EMDR, so our product. And we have almost 200% more working memory stimulation compared to the light bar. So in that whole theory of working memory stimulation, this is really improving session outcome. And later on, we did a breakthrough study in the Netherlands that's released, I think next week, we're going to release that study, where we saw that if you would look at time efficiency, compared, again, the light bar to our product, that the average SUT decrease from beginning to end, so let's say it starts at 8 and it decreases to 1 or 0, takes almost half the time compared to the light bar. So this tool would really help you save time. It really helps you improve your session outcome. We saw in multiple sessions that people were having the time to do a second image or a second target, while doing the light bar 1 hour session is just only doing one image, if you're lucky. So we're really trying to make session outcome better, or at least more efficient, and that works for you. We can share that. So if you're interested in that, please contact us. And the last thing is that we have a whole exposure function here, an exposure module that is completely based on the EMDR 2.0 theory or method, where you can directly stream any type of contact, audio, video, or images through the client. So let's say you want to trigger somebody with an image of a person or a certain car crash or any traumatic event, you could upload it yourself, stream it to the client, make that full screen, and then overlaying the EMDR task. You can also look inside our preset library of 200 plus videos that are already there for you. That's like car crashes, anxiety, basement, fear of heights, it could be anything. This will really help you enhance your therapy. So I think this is also a real benefit of our platform that makes it make it more personal. And on the other side, the last thing is that you can also change the backgrounds. We have a apartment room now here. You can also make it a bit more child friendly if you want like an image of a, I don't know, a beach or a forest. You can choose. So we would all encourage you to try it out. There's multiple options for that, so just reach out.
Yeah, thank you, Sander. So this is just to recap it all, based on the working memory theory, which EMDR 2.0 is based on, and this is the only, at least at the time of this recording, the only virtual platform that offers this. So thank you so much, Sander. And we will also link to these studies that you mentioned. We'll link below this video wherever people are watching it. We'll make sure that they have access to this study. So thank you so much, Sander, for your time.